Hi, I'm Daniel Andrews, owner and creator of the DAN Show, and welcome to my latest 2021 NFL mock draft video. Today, I'm going to break down the Carolina Panthers and what they're going to do with the 8th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft. Now, if you're new to my channel, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell to get notifications of every time I do a video. Currently, I'm doing a new draft video every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, plus I go live on YouTube every Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Time. It's a great show. We talk all 32 teams. I answer every single question. So, hey, listen, if you want to talk football, come join the show Friday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, if that's over, let's break down the Carolina Panthers and what they're going to do in the 2021 NFL Draft. First off, I firmly believe that once Trevor Lawrence is officially a Jacksonville Jaguar, the Carolina Panthers are going to get on the phone and they're going to attempt to trade up, starting with the New York Jets at pick number 2. I firmly believe that if I was going to do a mock draft with trades, I would put Miami and Carolina flip-flopping picks, and Carolina picking 3rd, Miami picking 8th. I firmly believe that that actually makes the most sense, and I think there's a very good chance that this actually happens. I wouldn't be surprised if Carolina picks at 3rd and Miami picks at 8th. However, in this mock draft, there are no trades. Plus, I'm also going to throw this out. Now free agency is about a week and a half away, but if Carolina gets their quarterback via free agency, if they go ahead and they make a trade for someone and they still have the 8th pick in the draft. So I want to go ahead and address that. Obviously, the Carolina Panthers at 8, if there's a quarterback there that they like, they're going to make that selection. But let me throw out some names instead if quarterback is, not what they're going to do. First off would be Patrick Surtain, too. If you look at this division, you currently have 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'm still counting Drew Brees as the quarterback of the Saints for now, but you still have Matt Ryan, still got Tom Brady. So you get your best defensive player, and that would be Patrick Surtain. You gave up 28 passing touchdowns, which is respectable, but 7 interceptions, that's 4-to-1 ratio. That's never good, so you need some help. You really need some help, specifically in the secondary. So Patrick Surtain, day 1 starter, instantly makes your defense better. It makes a lot of sense here. Another player, which could be a lot of fun here, is that Gregory Rousseau, a defensive lineman out of Miami, sat out this year due to COVID with massive upside. Because currently you have 3 rookie starters on this defensive line, plus 2019 first-round draft pick Brian Burns, who's really had a great season. Thing is, though, Brian Burns and Yader Gross-Matos, to me, they're more 3-4 defensive ends, and Derrick Brown, I think his best position would be a 5 technique and a 3-4. Gregory Rousseau, you can use him in a variety of different ways. He could actually play 5 technique. His best position would be 4-3-N, but he also got a lot of sacks in college playing the 0 technique. I don't think he can do that in the pros, but bottom line is that you have a very versatile front 7 now. If you go ahead and you add a player like that, plus you add additional pass rusher next to Burns, so that would be really good. Greater Gross-Matos, I think, is also going to be an excellent pass rusher. Didn't have a great season last year, but I mean, he's a rookie, so this would be very interesting, and it could be extremely creative. Another pick, again, also very creative, would be Jeremiah Owasu Caramora. I call him JOK. Basically, he's a clone of Jeremy Chin. So what you would do is that you would basically have 2-3 down positionless players in Chin and JOK. And now I thought coming out of the draft, Chin's best position was safety. I think JOK's best position would be linebacker, but you could easily flip these 2 around. You could basically have 2 players that can play all 3 downs, that are physical, that are fast, and they could do a lot of different things on the field at the same time. This would be a lot of fun. The one thing about the Carolina Panthers is even though they run a 4-3, their defensive scheme is designed to be very changing and have different types of schemes in it without OTAs and training camp. I think their scheme was a little basic, but I expect them to get a little more creative this year and not really play a pure 4-3, which our lads in ESPN says they do. So, I mean, technically they're not really a 4-3 team, but with either one of those two defensive front seven players, if you count JOK as a front seven player, would really help Carolina out. Offensive line is another position that you can go to because you traded for Okung. You went ahead and gave up your Pro Bowl guard and Trey Turner. Here at 8, you could easily take Rashawn Slater. He would go ahead and occupy that guard slot. I think he even though he played tackle, a lot of people think he's a tackle. I think he would be an excellent guard. You go ahead and he's a plug and play guy. You instantly make your offense better. I've seen a lot of mocks with him as a top 10 player. I do think it's extremely unlikely that Carolina takes a guard at 8, but I have seen weirder things. Now, just to summarize, if the Carolina Panthers are not going to go quarterback in the draft, these are 4 players I think they're going to take, and I have them rated in this order. Number 1 would be Patrick Surtain, 2, Gregory Rousseau, JOK, and Rashawn Slater. Now, with the 8th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers will select Mac Jones, quarterback out of Alabama. Now, I actually have Trey Lance rated higher than Mac Jones, but I have Mac Jones to pick here for 3 reasons. Number 1, coaching style. If you watch Matt Rule at Baylor, his quarterback, they didn't do that zone read and have the quarterback run very often, if hardly at all. They went ahead and just had him be a quarterback and use a passing system. Joe Brady, the offensive coordinator, when he was at LSU, when they won the national championship, and definitely those a couple of years that he was with the Saints, Burrow wasn't a running quarterback. Drew Brees definitely wasn't a running quarterback. So the system that they use, they don't have their quarterback run the ball. It makes a lot of sense to go with more the pocket passer than a running athlete. Second reason is if you wanted a running quarterback like Trey Lance, you would have kept Cam Newton. If you wanted a quarterback who could run the ball, you already had one. You decided you didn't want a running quarterback, so you got rid of Cam Newton. You brought in Teddy Bridgewater. Out of all the quarterbacks in the draft, who most resembles Teddy Bridgewater, and that's Mac Jones. Of course, I think Mac Jones has a higher ceiling than Teddy Bridgewater, but that's the type of quarterback that you're looking for. And the third reason is that the Mac Jones hype train has hit, the red line. It's just going full speed right now. And I've seen this happen before because when the draft process started, Mac Jones was a 2nd-round pick, maybe an early 2nd-round pick, maybe a late 1st-round pick. Then he was definitely a 1st-round pick. It was like, oh yeah, he could go to Washington. He can go to Chicago in the 1st round. But yeah, now he's a 1st-round pick. Now you're hearing more comparisons to Joe Burrow, which makes a lot of sense. You watch Joe Burrow, you watch Mac Jones, they're very similar skill set. Joe Burrow's a little better of an athlete. I can argue that Mac Jones is just as good of a passer, if not better. I can make that argument. It's actually a legitimate argument. But the thing is with quarterbacks is that you hit the hype train and your stock just keeps on going up and up and up. It doesn't go back down. Now, sometimes it can happen. He could have an injury, but the hype train for Mac Jones is just going full speed ahead. So it wouldn't surprise me if he ends up in the top 10. Now, I do want to emphasize this. I still have Trey Lance rated higher than Mac Jones, but the scheme and the style of the Panthers, Mac Jones is simply a better fit. Now, obviously, this is my selection, but I want to hear from you. What do you think? Did you like the pick? Did you boo me on the pick? Leave a comment below and let me know what you thought. And listen, if you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Share this channel with your friends. It really helps me out. So if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Wednesday, I am going to break down the Denver Broncos. So, hey, I will see you on Wednesday.